What's good, YouTube? Welcome to another episode. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, press that like button, comment about have a good conversation here. And yeah, man, let's get to it. So I've got my two gentlemen here, my good friends, my fellow content creators. So I thought, no, the whole idea is to bring more content creators into these spaces. We share ideas, we talk about what's going on, we talk about channels as well. A plethora of themes and topics, you know what it is. But Matchuptv crew, what's good, guys? You guys introduce yourselves. Good. Go for it.
Thank you for putting us on, man. Hello, guys. We come from Matchuptv. We're also a sportscast YouTube platform. I'm Mphikeleli Nkabinde. Lochani Magwande Makai.
Hi, I'm Sive from Matchuptv. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
It's been a year in the making. So we're glad we finally got a moment to come through on the channel. So
nice one.
Thanks for having us.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So today, man, guys, it's you're here. You're free. You're at home. You're in the studio. You get to talk about anything, and we ensure that we're giving everybody those topics which are relevant and something that they can relate to. But we're talking now is about the sports aspects of things. I think even before we started recording, we were just going hard.
Sure.
And it just needed some more we could get those little segments. But so guys, tell us about your channel. What's it about? What's popping?
Okay, look, from my side, I think how I got into the channel was by pics. I think it's something we always spoke about. I actually want to do something else, but sport was something we always chatted about. Quite passionately, and you're like, look, man, we might as well do this. We might as well do this on a platform because we have a lot to say about sports. We're very passionate about it. So let's just get busy doing it because there's a lot of people doing it. We all have something to say, so let's get on and see how it goes.
Yeah, also, I feel outside of the fact that we started the channel as friends and brothers who've been talking sports, I think, since probably 2012.
Yeah,
I think I met Sive around 2012. Yeah. There was this feeling that it's one opinion to share sports around a braai and you think you know your thing, and it's another to actually put your voice out there and be willing to be criticized for it. So we manned up. Or womaned up for gender journalists. 2023. So
identification purposes. Either ID or ID.
So we eventually were like, okay, bro, let's just get started. So how we started, it was initially articles. He would write the article. I would do some illustrations, and we'd publish it on LinkedIn. And then we're like, we need to put it up a notch. And then the channel came about. And we've both played different sporting codes. We're both very well versed in sports. School colors, provincial colors, etc. But I feel like the sports fraternity, especially in the professional world, close ranks and want to think sport can only be spoken about in a professional sense by sports or athletes. But sports is for the people. We are the one who enjoy it. We are the one who pay for it. So essentially, the people must have a voice, and Matchup is that, because we eventually started bringing guests in. We've brought you in. We've brought local coaches.
Shout out episode 4. What episode number was that? Sorry, 3. Episode 3. Check it out, guys. Link in the
the link will be in the description.
Sure.
We've brought local school coaches. We've brought scouts. We've brought club owners. Well, local club owners. Don't expect. Soon we're getting there. And then it's just about pivoting now. COVID happened. We started our channel just
in COVID.
In COVID.
We started shooting in COVID.
But we're pivoting, and hopefully 2023 will bring you guys more content, more explainer videos, because I feel like there are sports topics. A lot of sports followers aren't privy to the internal mechanisms.
So even apart from that, I think a lot of people wonder why you care so much about sports. What's so interesting about these guys kicking around the ball? You know what I mean? And so the explainers is like, sports for dummies. So if your partner is irritated, why are you watching sport all day, every day?
Instead of spending time with them.
Just so that they have a basic understanding. Oh, this is what cricket is. This is what football is. This is what rugby is. You know what I mean?
Sports is a tribe. Sports is a religion. A lot of people like to just take it as a certain
It's a
leather
pastime,
being
you know?
chased by
Yeah.
a number of men or women or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But if, for instance, I'm gonna make this, I had a conversation with Sive about this a few weeks ago. We are the generation who watched sports peak, because between 1995 and 2015, even to 2019, we've managed to see people like Serena Williams, Michael Schumacher, Pete Sampras, Rafael Nadal,
MJ for a bit.
MJ for basketball a bit,
Kobe Bryant for basketball.
Yeah.
Kobe.
Yeah.
We've watched sport become professional.
Yeah.
And then it was easy to be encapsulated in that world.
Yeah.
Because you saw people who pushed themselves in their bodies to the furthest way of expressing. How not going to like that?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I think we also take for granted that because we like a certain thing. The same way you watch something else, you think, why are you watching this?
Yeah, like I don't get when someone watches whatever, the Kardashians.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's the same thing.
So it's a passion point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you might not understand why they watch it, but you know what it is.
And also, you could be educated to why or how.
What makes them so interested in this thing? You know what I mean?
What also intrigues me about what you guys do is that in a lot of times in sports, it's very easy. I mean, remember the days when you'd watch soccer on the weekend or any sports on the weekend and talk about it on Monday when you come back.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, what happened? This team is crap because of this. Yeah, everyone had an opinion. I think with sports, that's one code or one facet of life that everybody has an opinion on, regardless of what sport it is. Cricket, soccer, netball, doesn't matter. Name it, it's spoken about, you know.
Sure.
But I think with you guys, what you really put on in terms of what you guys present is the depth. Is the in-depth, is to say, okay, fine, we're our sports in a predicament in some way, or sports is at a position. How did it get to that point, and what can we discuss in order for us to understand what really is the true issue? So you guys are looking at also not only just the sporting aspects and saying, okay, the results, but you're looking at the ills behind what holds our sports back, e.g. South African soccer in a way. So I think that's something that. So how did you guys manage to get to that point where you're actually discussing social ills between each other? I'm sure.
Me. No, so we both watch sports from different point of views. One, and two, we both share opinions from two different point of views.
Yeah.
He comes through a lot more from an administrative point of view.
Okay.
Like the
commercial side,
the commercial
stuff,
money matters, running of whatever club or managing a talent. And I come more from a talent side of watching the sport, because I know what it takes to put in 5 days of training, eating certain type of food, avoiding certain type of food. Then we sort of said our sweet spot is not only being commentators on sport. Our sweet spot is finding what can be improved in sports, and that's how Matchup was born.
Oh, nice.
Because it's I mean, everyone is talking about on-field stuff. You know what I'm saying? So how often can we talk about transfers? We talk about, rumors. We talk about all these other things, but there's not enough people speaking about what happens behind the scenes. Because sports is a business. You understand?
Absolutely.
So maybe you weren't talented enough to be on the field, but sports teams require lawyers. They require financial people, administrators, scouts,
GMs.
You know what I mean? It's a business. So as much as you can work in a corporate space but not enjoy it, why not work in a corporate space where you enjoy the environment? You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's another. It's opening up the space to people in a way which they haven't seen it before. So now,
just to simplify it, we are removing the cloak to reveal the magic.
100%.
It's one thing to always see the trick, but it's another to know how the trick happens.
Gotcha.
So that's what we're trying to do.
Gotcha.
And once South Africans in general start seeing the trick behind the magic, or whatever before the magic, it's going to be easier for us to hold our clubs accountable, our associations accountable, the people in government who run sports and recreation accountable. Because another thing, as much as we are invested in sport, we are not only financially invested, it's a form of patriotism.
100%. 100%.
I mean, for instance, I always say, and I say jokingly, The best year in my whole lifetime was the 2010 World Cup, just between June and July. That 30, 40 days.
Yeah.
So there was no better place in the world.
Oh yeah.
Even if Bafana was crap, but in that moment,
yeah,
South Africans didn't care about is giving, we load shedding in.
Zero.
We cared about how we sold our country to the rest of the world.
Mm.
If we're capable of doing that, why can't we do it so we can progress more?
Yeah, because it gave a lot of South Africans something to look forward to in any way.
It also gave Africans something to be proud of.
But another thing, a lot of people say, they'll speak of 2010.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand, you win a World Cup in 2006, right?
Yeah.
So between 2006 and 2010, the country was a construction site.
Yeah.
People had jobs.
Yeah.
People were excited.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Everything
The was getting built.
Investors were coming in and out of the country to come see what's...
Actually, I think those years, you're right, between 2006 to 2010, that's the last time South Africa built anything meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, in around 2006, our economy was okay.
We were booming.
We were booming at some stage. And
we have a Frenchie here. Say hello.
What's up,
You
boy?
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the sporting ecosystem is what we also try to bring across.
Yeah.
The sport is not just, it is a passion point. But a lot of people, it can solve a lot of ills, like job
100%.
creation and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
The value chain of sport.
Yeah.
I mean, look for instance, COVID. Labo mame bathengisa igawulo outside of a stadium. They had nothing to do. Security guards. The gents who, I know it's fake tickets, but now they eat.
That's true.
The gents who sell the flags, the paintings on faces.
Yeah.
There's a whole value chain that sports can impact society. So Matchup is part of saying we are all one, but we want the society to grow beyond. We are trying to professionalize outside of the on-field.
Yeah, 100%.
You're professionalizing the whole ecosystem in sports. So essentially that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, nice. And I would say, but your highlighted points of your channel, what would be your highs and lows of your channel?
No, I think for me the highs is actually starting, man. Once you start, you start getting the momentum.
Okay.
You start playing with the format and finding your sweet spot, because we can talk all we want.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing. We used to talk and talk. This is how it's going to look. How do you know? You know what I mean? And sometimes you assume, like one of the shows which I thought was going to be big, the audience didn't like it.
Oh.
The one where I thought, okay, no, this is going to be hot. No one liked it. But the show where I was like, I'm not sure, man, about
That's
this
the one.
That's the most
people
popular
responded
in terms of numbers. You know what I mean? So the audience will tell you. That's also an exciting thing.
Okay.
That you can play, and then the audience. It's also scary for some people. Because,
The thing about podcasting and content creating, you are not in charge.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
Whether you just come up with the concept, but our boss Marco are the people
And audience,
receiving.
Yes, it's the viewers, and you have to give them what they. And if you're not giving them what they need, if you're not
they'll go to
consistent,
another
they'll go somewhere else.
So
and
you
get
need to add value to their lives, man, because people spend their data, their time with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to give them a good product. So,
100%.
but your second question was maybe a low light to a challenge.
Yeah.
In anything that you create, man, it's the money.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people will say to us, "Hey, man, but guys, there's so much happening. Why aren't you putting stuff out? Collaborate, invest." You know what I'm saying? Invest, sponsors
And it's
people.
easy for non-creators to be judgmental on the amount of output.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're doing it from a sporting aspect, because look, you've got Super Sports on TV.
But it's in the nature of things that people are passionate about.
Yeah.
They're very opinionated about it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So we are in the sporting space. So unlike any other thing in the world, your audience is going to be very opinionated.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I mean? So we also need to be empathetic to that. But part of our education is letting guys know, look, man, it's like a business which is a startup. The money behind it is big. So, if you back us, we build audiences. Then
just to close the loop, back to what Ufanzo said earlier. Indaba yokuthi as South Africa, there's a monopoly on sports. It's very big on how sports content is recorded. There's a big monopoly in sports in this country because you'll find that there's this big global colossal company.
No, the super sport, man. Just say it. It's cool.
One day we might need to go there and go back for New. But anyway,
let's talk about it. You know
okay,
what I mean?
sharp.
It's one of the challenges.
On a channel, but it's super sport.
Yeah.
They've essentially monopolized how sports is consumed in this country.
Okay.
And that gives a few hurdles to people like us and you.
Yeah.
Because they show people what they want to show people, and essentially they just show on field. They care little about the background. But that's also because they're involved in background and monopolizing that background.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we just had a simple example. How can you show Phillies games or Alfred Maimane games, still Epukuli, but you are the head sponsor, you are the main broadcaster?
I mean,
AstroTurf is not expensive, bro.
it's not, huh?
Or during the year, ngicela ukurekhoda manje December, manje January faka notshani ninonisela da. Nisele throughout. Come December, we have sun for days in South Africa. Even in winter, we have sun.
Throughout, yeah.
So, you're telling me come December, those boys can be playing on decent grass?
Come on.
Super Sport do better. Please.
Thank you. Yeah, no, for sure. Because, and that's the thing is that and something that I've really picked up in the sporting aspect, especially having my, background in sports and coaching, etc., is that you'll find that from any age group, starting from the age of 6, whatever have you, and there's a lot of effort put in. You find that we expect these kids to do 100% of the effort, but then the return from them is literally next to none.
Nothing. Yeah.
Hence the example, the grass, equipment, etc. You've got so much talent. It's like, why don't you sit down together? And it sounds very easy from the outside in. Not looking from an executive standpoint,
point of view.
but when you look at it from the point of where, but come on, guys, can we not invest more in these kids so we can get the results we want? Because we potentially want to have a 96 AFCON winning team again. I mean,
bro,
it's not a hard task because at the end of the day, you need to follow spec. Any team, starting from
this nigga's gonna make me so passionate right now.
I mean, anything starting from a World Cup team. Take whoever, Germany, Brazil, whatever. Regardless of how far back they won the World Cups, they have it in them. Look at Argentina, who just won a World Cup now. They've been every World Cup, have never stopped their passion. Even when Maradona was coaching the damn team.
Yeah.
He's like...
and we knew he wasn't a good coach.
We knew he wasn't a good coach, but the passion behind Argentina winning was very, very... it was close by. That's why that was their time. 20 plus years later, it's their time. So that's what I'm trying to say is that why do we not, especially having... We're a country that's won a World Cup in a sporting aspect.
Every sports code outside of cricket and football.
Outside of cricket and football, we've won a rugby. We're world champions, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
we have swimming gold medalists. We have... I think
we have top golfers.
We have top golfers. We have netball champions. We've got hockey champions. We've got a lot of people that have played sporting codes, but we're not really putting in the efforts to... I don't feel that we're putting enough effort in our sports to say, what are we investing back in terms of fields, etc. But I'll get to it as well when it comes to the whole sponsorship thing with Tottenham, and I'll explain to you that whole dynamic. But anyway, you can kick
No, so I think via matchup we've wrapped it up. You guys sort of have an idea of what's what. I just wanted to throw a spanner in the works in terms of how we're talking about this, gents. What do you guys think of how, especially these two FAs are well, not necessarily FAs, but associations are run? Cricket South Africa, South African Football Association, because I feel those are the most notorious and underperforming nationally. That is, their national teams are underperforming. I mean, you can't have one generation of the under-19 World Cup winners, and when they go into play Proteas, they struggle. But Amatluk, Bafana, it's two different worlds. I mean, for instance, Amatluk went to the Olympics and they showed the world who we are. And then when it's time to be Bafana, we are mediocre.
I mean, no, but I think this is something.
I know this is a deviation, but it's just
I get,
we're still on the same page. The issue, it's something we're talking about even before we got on air.
Yeah.
The transition between amateur
and pro,
or you could say schooling, the under 19s, you're not a professional yet.
Yeah.
Semi-pro, you know what I mean? To professional. If you don't get that transition right. So for example, the grassroots of cricket is more or less okay-ish. Okay. It can do much better, you understand? But the structures are there, there's an ecosystem there.
Yeah.
But once you get to professionals, the interest that are involved in professional sport.
And this goes back to what you like to talk about, the financial part of shit.
Yeah. So
Sorry
if
for Chris.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
so everyone wants a piece of the pie, right? But even if you want money, everyone wants money.
Yeah.
Businesses want to make money. But what they seem to lack in both of the codes that you've mentioned is the interest for the sport. So rugby also there's interest, but not at the.
They put aside personal interests.
No, even if the thing is there's one interest. If you have a winning institution, you'll make more money.
Yeah,
it's logical.
That's true.
Sponsors
yeah,
in.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
They took the Springbok. Is now touring Europe more. That's a money thing. You know what I mean? The
Even the
local
whole
team,
URC concept.
We spoke about it.
Yeah.
It's money. So they think the rugby guys are like, as long as we're all eating.
We're eating, yeah.
But these other guys.
All unions get a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
All people in the value chain get a piece of the pie. So you think basically ECSA,
the PSA,
not necessarily PSA, but SAFA is run by short-sighted people.
I think it's not because it's not when they want to, they'll perform.
Okay.
Only
when they're cornered. When they're not cornered.
Look at the PSL when it started, right?
Yeah.
The way the guys who are at it now took South African football from amateur to professional.
And some of them are still involved. Yeah, you're right.
And when they want to, when they apply themselves, they do well.
They do well.
These guys, the same guys who people criticize at SAFA, are the same guys who managed to get us a World Cup. So when they apply themselves for a common interest, they can do it. You understand?
Yeah,
sure.
So I think that what's missing, just to summarize from my side, from a business point of view, is that common interest.
Okay.
We'll never come. I might not like you, but if we both win, we'll both make more money.
What can I do to fix this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my point I'm making is that there's always this clash between the clash or this what word do you say?
It's a conflict.
A conflict.
A conflict
yes.
of interest.
There's a conflict of interest when it comes to our sports in our country, because every time we do stuff, we try to politicize everything. Everything is so politicized.
I hear you, but I also think we don't take pride in our talent pool. I mean, if Brazil, year in, year out, can sell 16, 15-year-olds to our Real Madrid and Barcelona for 50 million. Umtshela ukuthi isafa ayihaleli daideng. Abo Baroka abayihaleli daideng. To develop someone who can be bought and that can change the trajectory of your whole club for a good 10 years.
I'm telling you. Wasn't there a point, sorry to cut you there, wasn't there a point where we used to actually ship players to the MLS? We used to take players to the US to go and play.
Yeah, there was a time where like development vibes, we shipped some about 20 to 30% of the most development team.
Yeah.
Jomo was one of the biggest.
He's the biggest guy. He's the biggest
in terms of young talent. And I see now some of the amateur teams are doing that, but that makes me feel good because it's trickling. The money's trickling down back into the smaller teams. But I just want to wrap this up so I make sense. What I'm trying to say, the Brazilian FA, they know for sure that they don't need to spend money feeding their clubs. They know Flamengo next year is selling a 16-year-old wonder kid to
100%.
2 years down the line, they know there's another 15-year-old. Argentina, same. River Plate does that year in, year out. Now Enzo Fernandez was just bought from Mega Parks
to Chelsea.
He didn't even spend a whole year at Benfica. He went straight from River Plate, then he was at Benfica for 6-8 months, gone.
No, but guys, I think there's a technicality missing. There's a division between the national thing. So in our space, SAFA and the PSL. Right?
But the PSL is a commercial organization.
Yes.
I'm leaving that one out.
No, I'm not. Move with me.
Okay.
PSL has clubs.
Yes.
The PSL runs the clubs. But each club runs like a business.
Yes.
You understand? So Flamenco, Palmeiras and those guys have visionary leaders who have the way they run the clubs. You understand? So if overnight the people who run those clubs ran some of the clubs like we do, you wouldn't hear of people being exported. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So the guy, the leadership of the club, if the vision is like we are selling club, right? So we make money from our development, like Supersport, like Wits used to do, like Stellenbosch is doing now, like Ajax when they used to do their thing. It all
It's
depends.
Cape Town,
Yes,
not Amsterdam.
Not Amsterdam. It depends who runs the club.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not. It can be from the top,
Yeah.
but you can go outside of that.
Absolutely.
If you run your club, what we should be asking is who are we allowing to run our clubs?
But that deters our development. And I know both of you are very passionate on sports development, not only in the soccer aspect, but so essentially what we're saying is that because we don't have visionaries.
Yeah,
in
we have mediocre leaders, man. Let's put it like it is. So if you're gonna run a club, it's a business. If you don't have enough cash flow to pay your players for 3-4 months, 5 swallows, how are you supposed to
TTM.
You know what I mean? So how am I gonna perform if my family has nothing to eat? I have to go home every day and tell my partner, my kids, I can't pay school fees.
And it's the third month running.
Guys,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
You got that because Andile Pisana is playing number 10 there. So. he's playing in your position, man.
So this is what I'm saying. Dude.
Yeah.
It's the people who run the clubs, man.
Got you.
If you don't run the thing professionally, and there's a low barrier to entry, man. The rules for who gets to buy what club should not only be limited to how much money you can raise.
100%.
And I hear you, gents. That's all I wanted
Nice
to ask.
one.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get into another. I actually sat down and I was watching it during this week. In regards to the Tottenham Hotspur deal that SA Tourism has yet to sign. It's not solidified. I think after this recording, we'll probably know what the fate is.
Yeah.
You get me? So of course they've been in talks, but there's a lot of conflict because now we got Daily Maverick that came through and basically did a report to say, look, where's this 1 billion coming from? Where is it going, etc. There's documents that
1 billion rand.
1 billion rand.
Okay.
So there's
So
obviously.
it's probably around 100 mil in pounds.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So basically, there was a conflict because Daily Maverick exposed some confidential documentation pertaining to this deal.
Sure.
Do you understand? So of course the SA Tourism spokesperson came out and said, look, because everybody was saying, look, we got load shedding. 1 billion rand.
Yeah.
Where is it going?
Yeah.
Can I just say something before you carry on?
Yeah.
Shout out to whoever leaked those documents to Daily Maverick. South Africa needs more people like you.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And hearing this whole, I sat through that press conference with the spokesperson, and he obviously conveyed, GDP, tourism, etc. But there's a lot of pros and cons to this deal,
For sure.
right? Because number one, of course, if all of you don't know, basically the situation is to say we're going to put SA Tourism on the front shirt of a Tottenham Hotspur jersey.
Is
The
it
sleeve,
the
dude.
front or sleeve?
I think it's the
Sleeve,
is it the
yeah.
sleeve, right?
Okay,
All right. So
So visit Rwanda vibes Arsenal.
100% Trivago Chelsea.
Okay.
The Emirates
okay.
Arsenal.
Okay,
Those type of vibes.
yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So that's where it's going. But from what the research has said is that all these all these teams who have been put to visit Rwanda has actually, with Rwanda, it's helped 17% of their tourism. It's pumped up 17%.
Okay.
You understand? During the time Arsenal was going to visit Rwanda and PSG,
I think they still do.
They still do, of course. But it's bumped up the thing because now, if you look at it,
So there's ROI on that.
100%.
Okay.
So now, if you look at that situation, when you look at that situation, they're saying, okay, this deal's going to pump a lot of our tourism up. It's going to bring South Africa back to that point where we're not looking at 6.4 now. We want to do double digits in our tourism. We want to attract a lot of people.
Okay.
Now we're saying, okay, Tottenham Hotspur could be a Champions League team. Now, 14 teams have sponsorship for tourism. Chelsea, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, name it. Those are one of the 14 teams. There's a few.
Okay.
You understand? So now my thing is that, and I wanted to talk about this topic, is to say, what do you guys think about it? What are your thoughts on it? Is it a good thing? Is it conflicting with the issues that we have in our country right now? Because what the spokesperson conveyed is that this is a separate issue to energy. We're sports and tourism. Energy is there. So, what do you guys think about that?
You know what? I think firstly from my side, the whole thing is quite thin on detail.
100%.
You understand? So first point of contention.
Then it's close. Inopsela.
No,
Inopsela now.
no,
Okay, but
wait,
anyway,
wait,
we'll
no,
talk about
no,
it. Yeah.
No, this is what I'm saying. What happens is that the media will grab the soundbite, but not unpack. So when that guy was shouting at the media the other day,
Yeah, oh, jeez, he was going.
you know what I mean? That was like, okay, bro.
Yeah, he also didn't help the situation.
Why are you shouting?
He was so annoyed. Even told the people at the back to keep quiet. Can I have silence in the back, please?
Yeah,
He was like,
No. So let me just address that.
Okay.
Number one, not your money. You are supposed to account.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So however the thing got out, it got out. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's an 18-month contract from what I understand.
Yeah.
It's 1 billion rand.
Yeah.
Just tell us the details of this thing.
Yeah.
Break it down.
So that people understand in
Break it
context
down.
Yeah.
that a billion rand on the international market might be not that much.
Mm.
As compared to how much are deals normally. You see, don't get too hyped about, hey, it's a billion, what.
Yeah.
Unpack it, number one.
Yes.
Number two, you are saying, a lot of people, no, but it's like Rwanda. Rwanda and us.
Two different
Two
rooms.
different worlds, okay?
Yeah.
We don't know enough about Rwanda and why they did it and all these things, right? When I look at the executions of Rwanda, right, with Arsenal and PSG, are Harry Kane and them going to do their pre-seasons here? Are they going to visit Kruger National Park?
Pose with lions.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, our David Luiz used to pose with gorillas.
Yeah. He used to hit
Yeah.
Rwanda.
You know what I'm saying? So until we know that, we can't go, it's like Rwanda. No, bro.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and true. And
Lionel Messi and them are visiting Rwanda, or literally,
Yeah.
as the thing says. So we don't know enough information about this thing.
because
It's a polarizing issue, gents. And I just have two aspects to this. I read somewhere, and it was published by one of like an advertising exec, owner, whatever guy.
Yeah.
He said British people spend 50 billion a year on South African tourism.
Yeah.
So if this deal pulls through, this deal would pay itself in over 2 years.
wow.
Okay.
Okay, sharp, fade. I get that. That's from a capitalistic person's point of view.
Because then it's about numbers.
It's about
That's
numbers,
all it is.
and that's all it is.
Gotcha.
And it's white arrogance and white
Yeah.
bullshit going
I
on
hear
there.
you.
Then there's a person who's not even like me, another person who's hungry for days and is living in the squalor of the most in this country. Then they're going to hear something. We need to be dynamic about this, and you know why we need to be dynamic. We live in the most unequal society in the world.
Yeah. We're the most unequal country in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can't be just because you are SA tourism and you have $1 billion to spare, you rush to just putting it on a European team. One. Secondly, if Swallows, TTM, doesn't have money to pay its players for 6 to 10 months, uhlulwa yini ukubanika 2 million to visit South Africa tourism? Ibaroka is Limpopo. There's a lot of beautiful places in Limpopo.
100%.
That could be another angle of promoting your own tourism.
Yeah.
But Limpopo has a tourism board.
I get, but I'm just from a national level. I'm just putting it from a national level.
But
Wait, I get where you're going. I just want to conclude with this thought. Secondly, sporting wise, what has Tottenham done, bruh?
No, that's what I was actually going to allude to.
We're so okay with mediocrity. We associate ourselves proactively with it.
No, but
I mean, Liverpool in Saigon. Saigon, I think.
Saigon.
Saigon, I think it's Thailand or somewhere.
Yeah.
You're telling me Liverpool saying they want to sell a bit of their club. You could have not just convinced them with the Farano South Africa.
That's it.
Asia market, you've opened it. Arab world, you've opened it. Brazilian world, you've opened it.
Yeah.
English world, you've opened. Because outside of Madrid and Manchester United, Liverpool's the biggest club in the world.
Yeah. My argument is that doesn't make sense. On top of what you've just said is that Tottenham,
bro.
somebody said, oh yeah, Champions League teams. We got 14 teams who have sponsors with Champions League winning team. Is Tottenham going to be in the Champions League?
There's a meme, an
bet on
Asian
it.
dude, they said, do you know Tottenham Hotspur? He's like, what? Hotspur? What's that?
What's that?
No.
Is Tottenham going to be a team that faces
Stephen
Champions League?
Anamungas on the business angle in Johnny. Tottenham is mediocre, my dog.
Leave this. Unpack it further.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. Things are always thin on detail. What is SA Tourism's mandate? That's where the thing needs to start, guys.
Yeah.
You need to.
What are they
understand-
trying to achieve?
You need to
Yeah,
understand
they-
what the institution is built for.
Yeah, because apparently one of those points is to say by 2028, they need to at least, and this was a mandate by the president, to say 21 million people should have at least come into the country through tourism.
So
that's one of their main policies or mandates.
What you can say, right? they could spend the money better, in a better way, right? But it has to come from the angle of what were they sent to do in the first
They
place?
could also reinvest it locally. I'm still big on that one.
That's my thing.
I'm not saying in football per se. I mean, there's a Netball World Cup coming in Cape Town in 2023. This year is 2023.
Yeah.
You're telling me they could not have been a headline sponsor? In netball, Ileta 4 or 5 of some of the biggest countries in the world. Australia, New Zealand, England. Jamaica is also one of the biggest players in there. Netherlands.
Yeah.
You're telling me your only strategy was just thinking English football?
Ah.
Inobusela le ndaba yekela nabothi non details. Angithi we must talk off the cuff. Inobusela le ndaba Sive. Lapha kuyatshontshwa bafu.
No, but think about what you say. We're saying the same thing but in a different way. You are saying they could have spent the money better. Fair enough. That's fair. You understand? That's a fair point. Because the netball thing is an international competition. You understand?
And you put that logo on TV adverts in between games and come on, man.
It's crazy.
The T20 league, that's it. It's an international competition.
But there's also a T20 World Cup fans, man.
Yeah.
Because
You see, so if people are saying that to be fair enough.
Yeah.
It's not to say I agree with what they're doing.
Spur is not it, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the logic was.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I think
That's
I
true.
can say there's better ways they could have spent it.
There's 100%. There is better ways.
Yeah.
I think it's just not conveyed clear enough.
There's also a Rugby World Cup later this year. Can't you put it on the Springboks jersey or something, a sleeve?
I mean, really.
We're world champions. We're defending champions. The whole world is looking at us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of
Like the people in that room who were making those decisions, the way they were so short-sighted, they failed to think that South Africans can analyze themselves.
Yeah.
But this one, Yon, it lacked foresight.
It had foresight. Yeah? I think it was.
It was a rash decision.
It was a very rash decision. Apparently, from what he said, it's from last year they conceptualized.
And you know what I think irritates? Sorry to cut you.
No problem.
What irritates, and was evident with that CEO.
Yeah.
Spokesperson. It's the
The
spokesperson.
spokesperson.
Yeah.
The guy was shouting at him.
Yeah.
It's not the CEO. Sorry. The spokesperson.
He was scolding.
But think about it, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that the way it comes across
Uh-huh.
is that he's more irritated that people know about this thing. That's why.
Then speaking about the facts.
Tell us what's happening.
Yeah.
Don't. You see, the more you get irritated, now it's like you have something to hide.
Yeah.
Which goes to your point. Yeah, well, because now it's like, this one's the stealing.
Yeah, because it's a conflict because now as well the minister, the sports minister, the tourism minister is being questioned.
No, but
see,
Fanzo,
so now, of course.
this thing is simple, man. You know what I mean? If you're dealing with public money,
Yeah.
you must be able to.
They
to,
don't,
to,
though.
to be accountable for
You must
it.
adjust.
They don't account to the very public they want to serve. Instead, they run away and send them a spokesperson. That's what they all do.
No, but the
Yeah.
problem. See, that's what I think. That's a big part of the problem. You're not accounting. You don't think you should account. You get irritated when I ask you what you're doing with money. That's
public
not yours.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if they can get the.
But let's
communications
not
right.
politicize it. So
Yeah.
let's go back to the sporting aspect of it. You say financially you feel like there were some benefits, right?
I didn't say that.
Or you're looking at that. Oh no,
It was me. I said there
Sorry,
was
you
some
did, you did.
benefits and stuff.
Okay.
I'm being a devil's advocate here.
Fair,
For it.
fair. Excuse me. So, mcela minugwazi, lama benefit wako, do you think they will trickle down?
In some sort of way, I don't think so. The idea on paper is great, but I don't think in practice it'll be implemented. I'll give you one example. They said this will encourage coaching clinics for coaches to come through.
They mustn't go there. Mustn't like to.
We've been waiting for the 2010 funds.
I saw that. I'm like, I like the but.
Yeah,
Like,
you
look,
know.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said we've had this
Yeah, we've had this
conversation,
conversation.
and I was like, no, man, this is not right.
Teams, Hurricanes, Young Minson, training 1 day, 2 days, like just to inspire.
Pre-season tour. That's all. Just one match.
Pre-season.
Just one match.
Kaizer Chiefs shine and pianos,
Yeah. I mean that's
the whole idea.
No, but this guy was preoccupied not wanting to answer the question.
Exactly.
That might be on the platform. We don't know.
Yeah, because he's
busy shouting at people.
because his approach was
They were caught with their pants down. That's why they're angry.
because he's approaching it from a more and from what he was saying, he was approaching it from a more broadcasting level to say every time there's a game on, everyone watches Premier League. It'll attract
the
a lot
logo
of
on
things.
the bands around.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but he's
yeah,
not
yeah.
just, he's not actually accurate. And one thing I didn't see is that his accuracy on the conversion rate of how this will work, especially on an international level. How are you going to convince a plethora of Italians to come to South Africa to come and invest or come and do some holiday here? You've got literally less than 10% people. You'll probably see that old timer from Italy say, hey, South Africa, let me go and see so I can go see.
You know, if they had
You know what I
said
mean?
they have a
Things like that.
sponsorship with the Tottenham Stadium, I would have a different point of view, because the Tottenham Stadium is the biggest stadium in London right now.
Yeah.
It also hosts any NFL games. It also hosts boxing. I mean, Anthony Joshua's last boxing match was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So, I'm not trying to poke holes for tomorrow. I'm just saying, already the three of us came up with 5 or 6 different alternatives that could have been a lot better. You're telling me in that room there were no people? This one is now it's cold. Guys.
It's a very and then
I think let's pour cold water on it and let's keep it.
In my view, see before I let you cook there, because I know you got.
He's ready. Yeah, he's ready.
And one thing I really was observed about this whole idea, as much as it's a 1 billion deal, my opinion, I don't think it's gonna pull through. I don't think, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of red pen going through this whole deal. There's not enough conveyed. This guy sat in front of a panel for an hour and a half talking about the same thing, rotating it over and over again.
According to Simon Jordan, who's a former Crystal Palace owner, he says Daniel Levy is a very shrewd businessman.
Okay.
And he's raising a lot of money for Tottenham because they're trying to buy their way back into Europe and into the top 4. If things, according to how he deems that dude, I think this deal might pull through. It's just the South African government must be ready for a backlash from the public. Which, you know, our backlash is like 2 days, on the 3rd day is Kotlio.
Yeah, because here's the thing: it is going to conflict with what you do on an aspect, on a very wide scale of other things. You have tourism. You want people to come in. How can we have something come in here when we've got a freaking load shedding issue?
Yeah.
How can you get tourists to come to the dark?
Crime is at its worst.
How?
Unemployment is at its worst.
You need to talk to those other points in order for you to come
our
to this
very own tourism is down.
You know what I can say, about this thing? I still go back to the thing that this guy is irritated. This deal is done, Jet.
It's done.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
Marcus is angry.
That's why.
So you think it won't happen?
No, it's done. No, it's done, bro.
Yeah, no, I think it's gone.
No, he wanted to make the announcement himself.
Yeah.
So they stole his thunder.
Yeah.
He's like,
So he's like, just take him every
Hey, these guys.
Yeah. So guys, before we wrap up, no?
Yeah.
I wanted to cover something. I think there's a lot, like, considering that we've just started the year, and what are you guys looking forward to in terms of sports? I think that's something that we need to discuss. There's a lot of sports that's gonna happen like this year that's really, really pivotal. I mean, look, Ngannou's going to heavyweight boxing. For me, I like that. I think with I'm looking forward to Usyk versus Tyson Fury fight.
That's obvious.
That's
Gypsy King is gonna do him dirty. We haven't seen a good heavyweight boxer like that in years.
I'm telling you, man. Him
Gypsy
with his
King,
with his back fat. He's good.
No, it's a good boxer.
That back fat takes those. It eats punches for days.
And I'm saying we've got World Cup. What you said, World Cup netball.
There's netball, rugby, and right now there's a T20 World Cup in SA.
Cricket.
Yeah, Momentum Proteas, the ladies team.
Yeah. So what you guys looking now? What you guys looking forward to?
For me, the obvious events, the Rugby World Cup and all of that, but my interest is varsity sport. I think the way that's growing, it's quite interesting for me. Like, that model is like, I like athletes who are encouraged to have some sort of education. I like the American model in that sense. You know what I mean? So.
But that's what Francois Pienaar proposed to FNP when he started the Varsity Cup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It started from rugby and then it developed to netball, cricket,
other things. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at the growth of that. I'm interested in finding out whether the school's football league is finally going to be something close to a Craven Week or a Cricket Week. You know what I mean? The way that league is set up.
But didn't Pizzo connect with Kuro and he's working on replicating something along those lines? But for now, it's still going to be private schools.
No, so for him now,
Pito Musimani, by the way, Coach Pito, who's in
Yeah.
Al Ahly Saudi, and he's doing amazing things. Shout out to you, black man. Keep shining.
So the thing is, with his schools, it's more like having a network
for scouting,
for
essentially.
scouting talent, and also having them knowing that the types of schools they're in, there's infrastructure. These schools are encourage them to study and stuff like
And
that.
they study and play.
Yeah. You know
So
what I
it's
mean?
just about developing the next generation of a football player.
Yeah.
Who's
basically-
not only field smart but book smart.
So taking a school of excellence and spreading it across the country.
Okay,
100%.
That's dope.
Oh, that's dope because we really need that in our country.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, what joy, how lovely it is to just see a young man. You see him at Varsity Cup. He plays. He might win a trophy. Then you just see him go on an international level.
We
man.
we
see
kind of
that.
have a few of those. Grant Lekana
We see-
at Sundowns is a bachelor's degree holder and he's a professional footballer.
Yeah.
Percy Tau is a bachelor's degree holder and he's a football player. We're kind of getting there, but it's just it's not as spreaded as it should be.
As it should be.
Speaking of that, I'm interested to find out also. For me, it's a lot of off-field sports stuff, right?
Gotcha.
So the Amazon school,
Business school,
the
yes.
business
ABS,
school.
yes.
So that school.
There's also the Gibbs, the
the PSL,
PSL
yeah,
Gibbs
partnership,
partnership. I see Abo, is it Linda Mtambo, captain of Skukuni?
Yeah.
They were the first group to graduate. I think Nabo Kune already
yeah.
graduated.
Yeah.
So I like what they're doing there, but I have to say Amazulu came first. The Sharks came
they
second.
They saw the gap.
Yeah. So shout out Amazulu for
Okay,
that.
I would like to see Mercedes build a better car. I want to see Lewis Hamilton beat the 7 titles Yaga Schumacher.
Yeah.
I really want that for Lewis because a lot of F1 drivers come from money and they just enter in new. He did it the hard way.
Yeah.
He did it the best way.
Yeah.
So
And his skin color was different.
You think,
in the sports way, it was
you think
not
he's gonna
accepted.
win?
Man, I'd love for him to win.
That's why I would like to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
I'd
Look,
like to
I'm
see
still
it.
Team Ferrari since, but I think that's me. I'm just one of those guys.
I'd also like
love
to see
a guy
a
can go
fit Rafael Nadal at the French Open because Djokovic just won Grand Slam number 22.
through. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
And
Shout out to
Nadal's also on 22, and Nadal's been the owner of the French Open for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, dude, he's just.
So I'd like to see a final in Paris where it's like the showdown of the old guard. 'Cause
And that- let me just
the new
be
kids
clear.
are coming up.
Let me be clear. Sorry to cut you there. Let me be clear. With French Open, it's Clay.
Clay,
That's his
Clay is
next-
Nadal's
yeah,
like,
okay, yeah,
but
yeah.
also Joker is an all-rounder. He plays on all surfaces.
Okay.
I think he has 3 wick grass, has 8 on hard court or 9 on hard court. He has 4 on clay.
So you think that Alcaraz he was just an overrated
It's
guy?
a fluke.
You think it was a fluke? You think
Alcaraz, Raducanu.
Yeah.
I think Osaka, the fame got to her, but these kids,
Yeah.
there's flukeness, people, man. Good to show off.
15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, good to show off.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I just like to see the old guard literally get like that one last big rally. A game of like maybe 5 sets, and then we can smell
No, but
the
I think they must go this year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'd like the French Open to be like the finale,
The finale
of finales.
for finale.
Because for me, I'm excited by the next generation. You know what I mean? There'll never be a time where it's just like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, it's gone.
Look at all sports. Look at
Yeah,
F1
it's
after
gone.
Schumacher. Look at
Even now
Yeah.
with Messi and Ronaldo, it's gone.
Yeah.
I'd also like to see Mamelodi Sundowns versus Al Ahly in Epitor, because the last time Al Ahly came to Pretoria, when there was still a crowd, Pito beat them 5-0.
Yeah.
That was the game they actually saw they want to sign this coach.
Yeah.
I was there. I was literally in the stand. I watched the 5-0 hammering of the club of the century in Africa.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see, because it's Champions League already. It's just Iyokala, I think, next month. And then that's one of the games I'm going to literally go to a stadium. I haven't been to a stadium since COVID, so that's the first one I'm going to. Rugby World Cup. I want to see Sia do it. I want to see Sia pull a Richie McCaw and hoist the World Cup twice over his head.
There we go.
As much as I thought they'd do the first one, I was very confident about the first one.
This one you're not
People
so sure.
thought, hey, this guy's mad. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Man,
They
look,
play-
And after we lost the first game,
They play boring rugby, blah blah blah.
but it was
boring-
practical.
Boring rugby is our rugby.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
We tire you out. We bully
Yeah.
we bully the pack, and we're done.
but I think the problem with our thing, the one weakness about rugby, man, we stay too long with one team without evolving
Oh
it into the next.
yeah, unlike the New Zealand,
Yeah.
those when they won the back to back, they had newer
they
generation.
had new
Yeah.
blood in there. Yeah, they had new
And they
blood
had
in
blooded them already.
there. Yeah, heavily,
Yeah.
heavily.
We don't trust our youngsters enough for the next phase.
But I think we're coming alright. Look at the URC man. Abo Mphikeleli Fasi bayashisa. Abo
But
Kerwin
they're
Bosch
not- but they're
bayashisa.
not picking them at
Oh,
it's
at
one
national
thing.
level.
Hey, man, that level is like a couple of steps up.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, fair.
I don't think the youngsters have played enough there.
Okay.
You know. And look
I'd
at
also
all the
like to
others.
go to Cape Town for the netball
Yeah.
World Cup. Hey, Telkom, come on, guys, we can cover it, man.
Yeah.
Every day, we'll be there. Matchuptv, come on.
And when is that? When is that one?
I think
in Cape Town?
it's
This
just
March-
before winter.
I
Yeah,
think
March,
it's
May, March, April, May,
yeah.
somewhere there.
Nice, nice, nice.
And I want to see Eddie Jones at a World Cup again.
Oh,
But
he's
with
coaching Australia.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
dope, you know. So I mean, there's a few things going on, but I am excited about the next generation of tennis players. I think they just need an opportunity to play.
That's
You know
it.
what I mean? I think
Who's winning the Ballon d'Or this year?
Ooh, shucks.
Leo Messi.
Oh no, he's taking it. If
for winning the World Cup.
For winning the World Cup.
He's gonna take Paris Saint-Germain to a semi-final of the Champions League.
Are they getting along? That's right.
Nah, he's actually gonna sign an
Mbappe's,
extension.
but Mbappe's,
No, not
Mbappe,
really.
but remember,
I'm talking about the team.
Team dynamics. Well, they're gonna make Mbappe fall in
but now
love.
Mbappe's out of commission, isn't it?
Yeah, he's injured. He's gonna be out for 4 weeks or so.
You see, so that's a long time.
I don't know, man. The Ballon d'Or conversation.
You know when Ballon d'Or got ruined when they didn't give Lewandowski. After that, people don't trust that process anymore.
Yeah.
But I think because it was his crowning footballing moment, the world has always wanted this for him, especially the footballing world in Europe. The South Americans, they really don't care about him because he didn't even grow up there.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Europeans, Spanish and French, they love that man for days. I mean, Sepp Blatter did everything in his hands to make sure he won those 5 Ballon d'Ors in a row.
Yeah.
So I'm like those guys who
You don't
who-
care.
I
It's
don't
neither
really
here or
care
there.
about who wins it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because yeah.
Who's taking the Prem? English Prem.
Oh man, look, man. I'd love Arsenal to take it. Definitely, I think one thing of as much as I'm a Chelsea person,
I don't
I
want
think-
them to take it.
I don't know. Arsenal have toiled over the years. You know.
No.
I've always, no.
There was this running joke of Liverpool 30 years.
No.
Nah, but lucky 20 years.
No, I still think
City can
City
boom.
will take it. I'll
Nah,
say
it's
City
gone,
will take it.
bro.
I'll give it to Arsenal if they do win, they've earned it.
It's gone. I think
Therefore-
Arsenal, but deep down in my heart, I wanted to troll Arsenal fans that they haven't won it in 20 years. Because the last time they won was 2004, the invincible year.
Yeah.
So I wanted them.
But you know what?
I wanted them to top 2024 so I could just roast them.
You know what?
It's very personal because Liverpool 30 years, it was a very big deal.
It's a big
No,
deal. Yeah.
I still think a lot can still happen.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
gone.
No, anything can change. I mean, look.
A lot can. I mean, how many?
It's gone. I
games-
mean,
how many games are left?
Pep's squad is in disarray.
Why?
Gundogan is openly criticizing his own teammates. Joao Cancelo left.
Okay.
John Stones is injured. Edison is having a slummish kind of season, and if he's not having clean sheets back to back, they usually struggle. Erling Haaland struggles against teams with a low block.
Yeah.
And Pep is obviously trying his hardest.
Grealish is complaining all the freaking time.
But Grealish is having a better season than his first season at City.
True, but he's complaining. He's just not content with the other
But
players.
Pep, you can see in his desire, it's Champions League this year. This is the year he thinks he's gonna do it.
And,
Like,
and then if he doesn't,
if it doesn't,
So we're looking.
it's just gonna be another
So are you
great.
anticipating a PSG Manchester City final?
I don't think it's gonna be an Arabian final
Nah.
because the Western media and the old white boys club at UEFA won't allow that. I really think if push comes to shove, if Liverpool knock out Real Madrid the next favorites of
come on.
I know it's not gonna happen. I'm
Come
just
on,
saying.
yeah.
But Liverpool have done better in a worst season in the Champions League. Come on, bro, you know this for
But
real.
look at this. Now,
I know we're terrible.
Yeah.
If Real Madrid get knocked out, even if it's not Liverpool, if Real Madrid get knocked out, it's City's to lose.
okay.
That's how I see
Yeah,
it.
you see, yeah.
I guess it's up to fate, man. But
Yeah.
no. But fellas, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
This-
it was a solid one.
I think if anything, we could have chat about football till the sun comes down. You know.
No, sports in general. I
sports,
mean,
yeah,
we
yeah.
still haven't touched on the whole Temba Bavuma not being picked for the SAT
Yeah,
20.
You see
but
what I'm
anyway,
saying? You know what I mean? But definitely a part 2 will come
And
for
we've
that.
seen our cricket conversations. We don't end.
it's feisty.
It's hectic.
It's
It's
hectic.
Yeah,
It's hectic. No,
Yeah.
but guys, fellas, thank you so much for coming through, and definitely, guys, with Matchuptv, you know, I wish all the best for it. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Sure,
It's such a sitting. That thing is such a gold mine that you're sitting on in terms of your content, because reason why I thanks to Sive, you know, as well. I think that in terms of sports content creation is definitely, especially in South Africa, it's a big need. I think there's from my understanding, there's a very, very select few who actually go into it. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a booming industry, and the coverage is not the same.
It's
Some
not the
people
same.
want to go for that tabloidy vibe, and
Yeah,
some people want
man.
to analyze
Because
sports.
people like
and-
South Africans like news.
Yeah.
That's why
No,
I like
but I
things,
think it's
so-
good, man. There's space for everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think the more things people talk about,
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
Especially,
We can't all talk about transfers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, man. I can't talk about who's going to do
Yeah.
about Enzo Fernandez
Yeah.
and.
We can't also all cover post-match things.
Yeah.
Ah, come on, man.
We don't watch the game the same.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
true.
Nonetheless, it's been good. It's been something that we're looking forward to a part 2 with you guys here.
Sure.
To do a recap, definitely based on channel growing as well.
Yeah.
Guys, be sure to log on to Matchuptv. The link in the description will be below as well. Just make sure you just check out their content. Really good stuff. Really good topics. I'm on episode 3, by the way. But yeah. But anyway, it's been amazing, gentlemen. And man, all the best, fellas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.